here in Toronto. Our Jays looking to take down the defending champion and heavy favorites, LA Dodgers. Good evening, I'm Dwight Drummond. We are just steps away from the action outside Rogers Centre, bringing you extensive coverage across the country on CBC News Network and on CBC News Toronto. We have reporters stationed across the city tonight, beginning with the man who's been covering these Jays since the beginning of these playoffs, Mr. Greg Ross. Plus, we have Ali Shiosan at City Hall in Nathan Phillips Square, and Dale Manukduk taking in the action with some other Toronto sports fans. All right, let's get straight to Greg. He's out at Rogers Centre with us here at the center where the action will be taking place tonight. Greg, he's inside Rogers Centre. Greg, what's the buzz like in there?
It's absolutely incredible. I mean, fans that are in the building now, many of them started lining up this morning. They've been here for more than 8 hours already. We're still a couple of hours away from first pitch here, but these fans want to be here. This is the place to be, the Rogers Centre, for Game 1 of the World Series, Toronto Blue Jays, Los Angeles Dodgers. I talked to 3 guys from Antigonish, Nova Scotia. Remember, this is Canada's team. People coming from across the country, and those 3 men from Nova Scotia got in a car at 7 o'clock last night, drove all night, through the night, no sleep, got here today. They didn't even have tickets. They were still searching to try and find tickets to get into this building to be a part of it. One of them skipped a midterm at St. FX. This is the place to be, Dwight. Fans are clamoring to get inside this building to see the Blue Jays play in their first World Series in 32 years.
And you've got some news for us, Greg. I can't let you go before we talk about Bo. The Jays getting a huge boost that one of their best hitters may be back.
How incredible is that Bo Bichette hasn't played since September 6th because of a sprained knee. We now know that he's not only going to be back in the lineup, he's going to be positioned at second base. He's a natural shortstop, but he's going to move into second base with Andres Jimenez continuing to play at short, and Bo Bichette will bat fourth. Cleanup right behind Vladdy Guerrero Jr. in that batting order. This is a big night for Blue Jay fans who have been waiting for this moment. Bo Bichette says he'll be fine at second base.
I mean, I think every part of this is a challenge, but I think it would be, even if I had been playing, you know, the World Series is a different animal. So luckily I've had a lot of time in my life at second base, so I have some experience there, and I mean, I feel ready to contribute there. I've been able to get a lot of good work in, but I mean, honestly, I'm leaning on a whole life's work of swings and at-bats that, you know, have all been dedicated to being ready for this moment. So I feel ready and ready to get there. I'm super excited.
Yeah, we saw Bo Bichette in the batting cage earlier today. Looked good in there. He's been running for the last week or so. We've been watching that. He looked a little bit more comfortable this time around than he did a couple of weeks ago before the American League Championship Series, Dwight.
Let's finish up, Greg, with this pitching matchup. Our young gun against one of the best pitchers in baseball right now.
Yeah, well, when you talk about the best pitcher in baseball, we're talking about Blake Snell, who has been lights out in this postseason. He is 3-0, an ERA less than 1 in this postseason. He has been almost unhittable, and now he's going to face off against a guy who has 6 games of major league experience under his belt, Trey Savage. 22 years old, has only been in the majors for a month. He'll make his 7th major league start, 4th of his postseason. He's going to surpass his regular season starts. He's going to have more in the postseason with this 4th start tonight, Dwight. It's going to be potentially a classic matchup. I mean, this is a guy, Trey Savage. People are already wearing his jersey in the stands, despite the fact that he's only been with the team for a month. He was drafted by the Blue Jays in 2024, started this season in single-A baseball. He's worked his way up through every level of the minor leagues before coming up here to the big leagues in September with the Blue Jays. Nobody, him included, would have expected that he would be starting Game 1 of the World Series. He says he found out last night from Blue Jays manager John Schneider. He says he called his family. They drove up from Pennsylvania to be here tonight for this big game. They'll be sitting here at the Rogers Centre watching their 22-year-old son do something that very few people have ever done before in the history of this game, Dwight.
It is one of the great storylines of this playoff and World Series, Greg, and we hope it's going to have a happy ending for that young man because he's got a great future ahead of him. We'll chat back with you later, Greg. Thank you. We're less than 2 hours away, as Greg said, from game time. It seems like this whole city is getting together to cheer on these Blue Jays. That's happening right now in Nathan Phillips Square at City Hall, where the city's having a watch party, a free one. Our Ali Shiasan is there. So, Ali, how's the atmosphere at City Hall right now?
Well, Dwight, I will say that the atmosphere is building. Like you said, we still have about 2 hours to go yet. So the folks that you see here behind me at Nathan Phillips Square, aka the Bird's Nest throughout the World Series, they are the diehard fans who wanted to make sure they got some good seats for the official watch party for the City of Toronto, at least. There are watch parties like these happening all over the Greater Toronto area and certainly Canada-wide as well. But there are GTA watch parties happening in Mississauga, Brampton, up to Vaughan, over to Ajax, and in Scarborough, and everywhere in between. And those are the official watch parties. I'm not counting the unofficial watch parties that seem to be happening at, I don't know, every single bar right now, at least here in the city of Toronto. Now, remember those diehard fans I was telling you about? Well, we spoke to one. You may know her. It's Mayor Olivia Chow. I was just in her office, and she goes, "Ali, where's your team spirit?" You see, I didn't have this hat on just yet. I said, "Ooh, wait, before we do the interview, let me go get my hat." She goes, "Hold on, I'll do you one better." Here's how that went. How to represent.
Okay, eat your heart out.
What do we have here? Ooh, is that an original?
It is a total original. 1993.
You're already the mayor of an amazing city. What's it like to be the mayor when the Blue Jays are in the World Series?
Just immensely proud.
So how do you think we're going to do? I mean, the Dodgers are a tough team.
Well, Yankees who? Why? Dodgers what? Huh? Let's go, Blue Jays! Woo!
You heard it here. It's official now. The mayor has spoken. So the mayor has spoken. Now let's talk to some other diehard fans. Who do we have here? We have a group of friends from really all over Canada, right? Who's from where?
Calgary.
Calgary. There's a BC.
Yeah, I'm from Abbotsford, BC.
Wow. So why did you guys decide on Nathan Phillips Square to be the watch party for you?
I'm a diehard Jays fan, so I came across the country to watch Game 1.
Amazing. Someone said that they wanted to drop some knowledge on CBC about the Blue Jays. So now's your chance. Who wants to tell me what makes this team so special? I'm looking at you.
We're good top to bottom. Here's what we got. We got the best bottom of the lineup in the league. It's incredible. Like if we're gonna push this series to late, to Game 6, maybe Game 7, we're gonna have to get that pitch count up. We don't strike out, so we got to get this starter out of the game. Best starters in the league for the Dodgers, so we got to get them out of the game.
All right, I can think of no better way to wrap this up than a little Go Jays Go.
Yeah.
Let's do it.
Go Jays, go! Go Jays, go! Go Jays, go!
Back to you, Dwight.
Thank you, Ali. We're hearing a lot
See,
of that
there's the
around
atmosphere
Canada
we were
right
talking
now.
about.
Ali mentioned the mayor and getting into the excitement of the World Series, and Mayor Olivia Chow says that she, in fact, has a bet going on with the mayor of LA. It's a cycling bet with the mayor of Los Angeles.
We're both cyclists. So we bet that the losing mayor has to wear each other's jersey, okay, and bike the number of runs the winner have scored.
If the Dodgers lose, LA Mayor Karen Bass will ride her bike in kilometers. If Toronto loses, Mayor Chow will ride her bike in miles, but she says she is not worried. She's not worried, Colette, because she's not worried because she won't have to do it. Now, you and I have been to baseball games together. You tell the story of that time that I ate a 12-foot hot dog with our significant others. It was such a great time. What is incredible, before you get to the weather, could you tell Canada that you're actually going to the game tonight?
I have butterflies in my stomach. Like, It's like I'm going to be pitching. I feel so nervous, so excited. I mean, yeah.
It is just wonderful. Lucky you. So tell us, what's the weather going to be like for the win tonight for our Jays?
I would be pleased to do that, and we are looking at some pretty good conditions after a week that's been not the best in the world, right? So we are going to get things going here. Let me just show you what's happening as we get towards the first pitch. That's going to be right about 8 o'clock, and with that, we're looking at that temperature because the sun is setting now at about 6:19. I mean, just a few moments away, right? That temperature falling off 8 degrees at that time. A stray shower, it's possible. I think we're going to stay dry, however, so things looking good. Current temperatures around the region. We do have single digits showing up, Vaughan, at 7.6 for our friends in Kitchener. And wherever you may be across the country, I thought we'd just give a nod because we have viewers across the country that are tuning in and watching from watch parties all over. But a look at a few of those showers out there. Again, I feel pretty confident, Dwight. We're going to be okay. Remember the last time we were out here? I believe it was the Raptors that were in that playoff run. So things seem to go well when we get together outside here.
Let's go, Jays. Thank you, Colin.
Go, Jays, go. We want it all.
You know what's incredible about this? You mentioned the Raptors, and that's where we're going next because some other teams have been playing, but we haven't been paying them much attention as they start their season.
And it's the home opener.
I know, exactly. So another sports team is also back at home, as Colin has mentioned. And we're going to take you there next over by Jurassic Park. The Raptors are gearing up for their home opener. Our Dale Manuknuk joins us from there tonight. He's live outside Scotiabank Arena. And Dale, many fans there will have one eye on the Raps and the other eye on our Jays.
Yeah, Dwight, I mean, it's definitely Raptors home opener, and that buzz, that energy is definitely in the air, but there's also a little bit extra tonight, and it's pretty obvious. You cannot escape the Blue Jays. You come around this way, you can see the Rogers Center is just a swing of the bat away, maybe not that close, but you can see it from where I'm standing just outside Scotiabank Arena. And there's going to be a lot of fans inside this building that have their eyes locked in on the Fall Classic. So they've actually moved the start time, the tip-off, from 7:30 to 6:30 tonight so people can watch the game, both games, and they're going to do the same thing tomorrow night for the Leafs game. Puck drop was supposed to be at 7 o'clock against Buffalo. They moved that up to 5 o'clock. They're going to do the same thing tomorrow, next week for both franchises, and none of this should come as a surprise as Rogers, who owns the Jays, closed the deal earlier this summer to purchase a majority stake in MLSE, who own the Raptors and Leafs. So 3 franchises firing on all cylinders, and people are going to have a chance to watch all of those games. And it's going to be very easy for them here at Scotiabank Arena. This isn't a competition between me and Ali, who's at the better watch party, but I'll tell you that after the Raptors game is over, they're going to put the Jays game up on the video board inside Scotiabank Arena. So nearly 20,000 strong are going to have that chance to stay in their seats and take in a Toronto sports doubleheader. I spoke to some fans earlier. Have a listen.
We actually flew in from Halifax this morning, so this is a once-in-a-lifetime opportunity for us, and it's unmissable. It's 2 for 1, literally 2 for 1. So I mean, I get basically a free World Series ticket.
We have the Blue Jays t-shirt underneath the Raptors hockey jerseys.
This is coming off after the Raptor game, so no problem.
What a weekend to be a Toronto sports fan.
Absolutely, absolutely, and they're both going to win tonight. Jays are going to win. Jays are going all the way.
Now let's talk about the Raptors a little bit. Tonight they're going to host Giannis Antetokounmpo and the Milwaukee Bucks. Both teams won their season opener. The Raptors put up 138 points on the Atlanta Hawks, a franchise record for opening up a regular season campaign. All 5 starters scored in double figures. Grady Dick poured in 21 off the bench. And there's going to be a new tradition this season for the Raptors. The coaching staff are awarding a Cobra staff to one player every game. We spoke to head coach Darko Rajakovic before the game. He was actually in a Jays hat. Have a listen.
The new award that after every game when we win, we're going to award the player who had the biggest defensive contribution. Might be locking down a certain player or collecting most deflections or steals or rebounds. It's going to be different categories of things that we look at, but awarding special effort on defensive end.
He actually left the press conference asking the media no questions about the Jays, so even he knows it's all about the Toronto Blue Jays tonight, Dwight.
It really is. Thank you for this, Dale. Now, after the break, the Blue Jay keeping fans safe during the World Series could soon be carrying the Blue Jay who helped get the team there. We go behind the scenes with Toronto's mounted unit, and how George Springer could soon get his dream ride, tarp off. That story just ahead. Stay with us. That is the Toronto Symphony Orchestra with a rendition of I Want It All. That has become the Blue Jays playoff theme song, rallying fans behind Canada's team. So the fans want it all, and so does this team, but what will it take for them to beat the Dodgers? CBC Sports contributor and lifelong Jays fan Paul McGowan joins us now. Paul, thank you for being here. We'll start with the big question, because we keep hearing how great this Dodgers team is. We got a pretty good team too, but we hear some of these American commentators talking about this is a David versus Goliath series. Them being Goliath, us being David. What do you think?
You know what? It might not be David versus Goliath. It's Goliath, though, versus a slightly larger David. The Dodgers are so deep, Dwight. I mean, they have 3 future Hall of Famers, Freddie Freeman, Mookie Betts, Shohei Ohtani. And beyond that, we don't talk about Teoscar Hernandez, former Blue Jay. He's got power in his bat. We don't talk about Will Smith, their all-star catcher, who's a better offensive catcher than even Alejandro Kirk. And
Wow.
so many ways to hurt you. The Jays will be in tough against the Dodgers.
You said all of that, but you left out a name. So many ways to hurt it. But you didn't mention that Ohtani guy. You know him? He was almost a Jay. That's his loss. Is he really one of the best ever to play the game? And not only that, on both sides.
The short answer is yes. He's incredible. The things that he does, nobody else has ever done. And you look at, he was struggling before ALCS Game 3, but he's capable of turning it on. He changed that series. He struck out 10 guys in one game and hit 3 home runs in the same game. I mean, that was a performance that we will never see again. Hopefully, certainly not see in the building behind us. He can change the game on his own, and that was in the midst of struggles. So he is that good.
Finally, after all that you just said, though, what are you going to be looking forward in this series? And I'm going to need a prediction from you.
I'm looking for if the Jays bats can get going. Everybody's talking about getting to the Dodgers bullpen. It's not a great bullpen, but the Blue Jays have also hit elite pitching really well. Everybody was worried about Max Fried with the Yankees, Carlos Rodon on the Yankees. They got to those pitchers. So can the Blue Jays bats against Blake Snell, can they put some hits together? Can they put pressure on the Dodgers defense? I think they can do it, Dwight. I'm going to say Jays in 6.
Jays in 6.
Jays in 6.
Before I let you go, I got 30 seconds. They say contact is king. You mentioned how great these pitches were. Will Vladdy be able to get some home runs this series, you think?
Absolutely. He's looked so good. He's looked so locked in. We haven't seen this version of Vladdy. We've seen a 50 home run Vladdy. We've seen a very good version of Vladdy. We've never seen this version of Vladdy before. And he's got Bo Bichette now hitting in the lineup behind him. I think Vladdy takes at least 1 out.
Thank you, Paul.
Thanks, Dwight.
And you know what you're talking about, buddy. You really do. Jays in 7, the CBC's Paul McGowan. All right, now we know the start of Game 7 of the ALCS. George Springer has struck a deal with the Toronto Police to celebrate with a possible World Series win by hopping on a police horse. But before that happens, the police and its mounted unit have a lot of work to do. Kirtana Sasatharan explains how they will play a crucial role in crowd safety here.
That's Blue Jay. And yes, he's a horse.
Hi, Blue Jay.
The 14-year-old Clydesdale is with Toronto Police's Mounted Unit, a unit dedicated to patrolling the city and managing crowds, something Blue Jay and his co-workers are gearing up for the World Series.
We're there to preserve the peace, and we are there to prevent crime, but we're also there to bring that safety and security to people's minds. Some people get a little uneasy in a large crowd. And what our horses do is they give us a 10-foot vantage point where we are able to see into all of the areas throughout the crowd. But what's more important is the crowd is actually able to see us.
The mounted unit will be out at each home game around the Dome, and McCarthy says visitors should feel free to reach out and connect with officers and the horses.
I think the horses are ambassadors to the city, and they have a purpose within the community. They're great at building relationships. If ever you needed any kind of help in any which way, shape or form, or a question or any information, again, the horses are very obvious. They're going to be out there. They're going to be there throughout the entire event. It's just a matter of you walking up and speaking to us as normal human beings.
Blue Jay the horse also has another major role to play in the World Series if the Jays' designated hitter, George Springer, plays his cards right.
I want the horse!
I do have to bring up a very important topic, which is George Springer.
Yes. Hello.
I don't know if Blue Jay's ready for George Springer. He has publicly declared that he certainly wants to ride a police horse. Chris, are we going to fulfill that dream of George Springer?
I would hate to disappoint, that's for sure. So I'm sure that I can make that fulfillment happen as long as he makes the fulfillment happen of winning 4 more games. Swing your leg over.
So, of course, I needed to know what George was in store for.
George Springer, this can be you in 4 more games.
4 more games.
And if you want a little more interaction with Blue Jay or any of the other horses during the World Series, McCarthy says they've all got their own trading cards.
It's a great way to interact with the youth of today. So Blue Jay's got a couple, I think. The officers will have their trading cards on them, as they often do. And if you're lucky enough, you may be able to track down a Blue Jay one.
Mounted unit will be out and about during the World Series. You can meet Blue Jay, you can meet all of the horses. They'll be there for crowd control, but they're also there just to build a relationship with the community. Game 1 starts tonight at 8 o'clock. Kirtan Asasi there in CBC News, Toronto.
Yes, it does, Kirtana. Great job on that horse. All right, that is it for us here on CBC News Toronto. For those of you watching us on CBC News Network, stay right there. We'll have more for you from outside the Rogers Centre after this break. Kelda Ewan joins us now from the CBC News Toronto studio with the rest of today's story.
Thank you, Dwight. I love it. The city is buzzing, right? And we want to see Springer on that horse, okay? So we want that World Series win. All right, we are following some other stories today. A big one, President Trump calling off trade talks with Canada because of an ad that Ontario has been running on American airwaves. Now, we will have all the details on that and lots more. Dwight?
All right. Thank you, Kelda. When we return, I'll have more Blue Jays coverage right here on CBC News Network. Kelda will have your local update on CBC News Toronto. Stay with us. Go Jays, go!
Hello and welcome back to our viewers here on CBC Toronto. I'm Kelda Yoon and we have more Jays coverage ahead for you, but here are some other stories we're following today, beginning with the ongoing trade war between Canada and the U.S. Now, trade talks between the two countries are off. U.S. President Donald Trump terminating negotiations, blaming an advertisement that Ontario is running on American airwaves for his decision. Premier Doug Ford says the spots will stop on Monday after a run during the World Series. A Queen's Park reporter Sean Jeffords has the details.
When someone says, let's impose tariffs on foreign imports, it looks like they're doing the patriotic thing by protecting American products and jobs.
This anti-tariff advertisement running on U.S. airwaves from Premier Doug Ford's government is at the heart of a political firestorm.
But over the long run, such trade barriers hurt every American worker.
And it's now the reason President Donald Trump says he's canceled trade talks between the U.S. and Canada. Trump took to social media to break the news Thursday night, calling the Ontario ad a fraud. But Premier Doug Ford defended the ad, while acknowledging it will be paused on Monday. Our intention was always to initiate a conversation about the kind of economy that Americans want to build and the impact of tariffs on workers and businesses. We've achieved our goal, having reached U.S. audiences at the highest levels, Ford said in a statement. Earlier in the week, Ford said Trump had seen the advertisement.
I heard that the president heard our ad. I'm sure he wasn't too happy, but it's real because it was coming from the best president the country's ever seen, Ronald Reagan.
Ford had said the goal of the anti-tariff spot was to reach Republican lawmakers and U.S. voters. The controversy comes at a sensitive time during trade talks between the U.S. and Canada. Earlier in the day, Prime Minister Mark Carney said there were things Canada can't control about U.S. trade policy, but they're ready to get back to the table.
We stand ready to pick up on that progress and build on that progress.
Ontario NDP leader Marit Stiles says Ford should stay out of the way of federal negotiators.
And I think, when you're dealing with somebody like Donald Trump, as we have seen, we know he's vindictive. You're going up against a bear like that, you better know what you're doing.
But the Ontario ad has its high-profile supporters, like Manitoba's NDP Premier, Wab Kinew.
So to my good friend Doug Ford, keep the ads on TV. They're effective, and this country is behind you.
But this expert says Ford's ad campaign may have complicated an already complex negotiation.
I think it was a mistake, I'm not trying to say that I predicted that Trump would abrogate the trade negotiations, but I just don't think it's prudent for any leader of any country or a subnational major leader, like a premier of a major province, to involve themselves in the politics of another country in that country.
While Ford has said he'll hit the pause button on that $75 million ad campaign on Monday, the spots will still run over the weekend on major broadcasters like Fox, CBS, and NBC. And the ads will be shown to millions of viewers tuning into the first two games of the World Series this weekend. Sean Jeffords, CBC News, Toronto.
York police are investigating after two homes in Vaughan were shot at early this morning. Now, the first shooting happened around 1 a.m. in the area of Chamomile Street and Medallion Boulevard. Police say officers responded to reports of gunfire and arrived to find visible damage to the front of the home. They also say witnesses saw a suspect taking off in a dark-colored sedan. Now, the other shooting happened around 5:45 a.m. near Gregory Scott Drive and Thomas Creek Boulevard. Officers say a man was seen firing multiple rounds towards a home before taking off in a light-colored sedan. And nobody was injured. Investigators believe that both shootings were targeted and that there is no connection between the two. Well, hundreds of people were out at Queen's Park today calling on the province to do more to address gun violence. This coming just days after a third youth was arrested in relation to the fatal shooting of 8-year-old Jave Roy.
It's going to take a long time. Justice for my son doesn't just look like, finding those accountable. It's finding resources, it's figuring out where the problem starts, it's working with community.
Many families who've been impacted by gun violence were at this rally. Mayor Olivia Chow was also in attendance. Jave Roy was lying in bed with his mother inside their apartment when he was struck and killed by a stray bullet. Mayor Chow says gun violence in the city is down by almost 50%, but admits more needs to be done. The RCMP have shut down a massive drug lab in Schomberg, just north of Vaughan in King Township. Now, they say they've arrested 3 people and seized nearly $10 million worth of illegal drugs. Mercedes Gastambide has the details.
Behind this idyllic setting, police say a massive drug lab was operating, churning out illegal substances like methamphetamine, MDMA, GHB, nearly 250 kilograms of drugs that RCMP uncovered from a Schomberg rental property, where 3 people now stand accused.
This investigation began through careful information gathering. At first, each piece of intelligence seemed small, at least on their own.
RCMP say they became suspicious after 47-year-old Christopher O'Quinn allegedly bought large amounts of chemicals used to make drugs like fentanyl and MDMA for his company, O'Quinn Industries. Investigators say O'Quinn has a prior criminal history.
The investigation led us to an address in Schomberg, Ontario, which revealed an active clandestine laboratory as well as a secondary storage site in Port Colborne. Officers seized nearly $10 million worth of suspected controlled substances, including MDMA, GHB, methamphetamines, weighing at approximately 239 kilograms of finished product, approximately $8,000 in Canadian currency, other chemicals commonly used in illicit drug production, including sodium hydroxide, acetone, methanol.
They also found drug production equipment, including pill presses, drug recipes, respiratory masks, and lab glassware, plus guns. Over the course of 10 days, they dismantled the lab and confiscated 20,000 liters of hazardous waste.
This investigation reflects a growing national trend: the rise of synthetic opioid production within Canada. Law enforcement and public health agencies are seeing more domestic labs, greater chemical sophistication, and a shift from the importation to in-country manufacturing of potent synthetic drugs.
The RCMP say the operation was happening here in Schomberg, Ontario, inside a building on a sprawling property by the intersection of Highway 9 and 20th Side Road. They also tell us the property was being rented.
The owners had absolutely no idea of what was going on at their property.
Christopher O'Quinn and 2 others, Liang Huang Guo and Katie King, have been arrested and charged with a combined 33 offenses, including drug trafficking, drug production, and firearm charges. The RCMP say it appears the drugs were for the domestic market, and there's no indication they were going to be sold outside of Canada. Mercedes Gastambide, CBC News, Newmarket.
The City of Toronto is breaking ground on a new purpose-built rental project in Midtown.
Picture what will be here. 494 new homes, in which 148 of them are income-based. So it's the needs of the people that matters. Then they are affordable.
The new homes at 275 Merton Street will include a mix of units, including family-sized 2- and 3-bedrooms. The building will also support the city's climate action objectives. In the city, TTC and police have been pretty much working around the clock ever since the Jays booked their ticket to the World Series to prepare for this weekend. Everyone wanting to make sure Toronto steps up to the plate to show it can bat in the big leagues of world-class cities. Lane Harrison tells us what they've got planned to help everything go smoothly.
Long lines outside the Jays shop at the Rogers Centre as fans put the final touches on their outfit preparations for World Series weekend. But Toronto's mayor has been ready for decades.
To celebrate the occasion, I dug up my 93 World Series championship cap. Aha, yes. No, you cannot have it. No.
Mayor Olivia Chow keeping a close eye on that prized possession.
I would not take it away from you, Your Worship.
Several city officials providing an update on the city's readiness for World Series weekend and the massive amount of people it will bring.
Fans can expect to see a significant and visible police presence both inside and outside Rogers Centre.
Police from other jurisdictions may be around too, depending on what else Toronto's officers are dealing with in the city that day.
Expect road closures and large crowds. public transit is your best option.
Several measures are in place to help fans get in and out of downtown. The TTC is adding 6 trains to Line 1 and 3 trains to Line 2 before and after the game. Metrolinx is adding extra service on several GO lines, and cyclists will be treated to bike share valet near the stadium. The city also preparing for those who will still choose to drive.
We've been basically practicing various elements of the plans just over the past few weeks throughout the playoff series with a combination of both police and traffic agent support.
Along with logistical challenges, the deep postseason run bringing an economic boost to the core.
In the second game of the ALCS, we saw an 11% increase in room stays year over year. That's significant. We are also seeing in the Moneris data coming in from spending in the core, restaurants are seeing a real lift from this. So we're seeing transaction rates are going up to 15% by the end of the ALCS year over year.
With all the prep finished, now all that's left is to play ball. Lane Harrison, CBC News, Toronto.
And thousands of baseball fans from all over the planet are expected in Toronto for the World Series over the next few days. And local hotels say they're ready, even though they only had a few days to prepare. Tyler Cheese has the details.
I'm in a room at the Toronto Marriott City Centre Hotel. That's the hotel inside the Rogers Centre. And take a look at this. This is the view guests will have for the World Series home games, but it'll cost them.
Pun fully intended, give me a ballpark of what people are paying to stay in these rooms.
So it started around $3,900, and then it kind of fluctuates from there up to about $8,500 to even $9,100 or $9,200.
It's definitely not a bad place to catch the games, and while hotel staff had an idea they might need to ready these rooms for the World Series, things really kicked into high gear following the Jays' win against the Seattle Mariners on Monday.
Here comes the 3-2. He got him!
But as soon as that happened, we got online and we just started monitoring kind of as the reservations were going and making adjustments and changes to inventories and things to make space available. And then the phone started ringing.
While this spot is obviously the closest to the action, hotels all over the city are expecting a boom in business.
I can't tell you exactly what we're going to see with the World Series. Obviously, we're going to see a lift.
She says looking back a few weeks to an earlier series could be a good indicator.
The Jays versus the Yankees on Game 1 resulted in demand up by 6%. Compared to the same day the previous year in 2024 and also 2023. That was an additional 1,200 room nights that were used in the city. Game 2 of the same series saw a greater lift, demand up 22% compared again to 24 and 2023. So that was an additional 3,500 rooms.
And she's hopeful the championship series could be even better for the city than a recent visit from a certain pop star.
If we look at welcoming Taylor Swift to the city last November. This is possibly bigger, I hope. I love Taylor, but, this is the World Series for our beautiful city.
Actually, it seems Taylor Swift's visit has become a sort of benchmark on how to measure success here in Toronto.
This is one of the most exciting times that, this city is going to have when it comes to a sporting event. Taylor Swift was very similar, a little different crowd, but still very, very excited.
But back to the World Series, he says security in and around the hotel and stadium will be beefed up to make sure everything runs smoothly. Tyler Cheese, CBC News, Toronto.
Welcome back. Well, rehab facilities are often touted as the way out of addiction, but a Fifth Estate investigation has found a patchwork of unregulated for-profit treatment centers operating with little or no oversight. As Stephen D'Souza explains, critics say that puts vulnerable clients at risk.
Massages, sauna, hot tub, in the woods, it's a cabin, Michelin star chef, that's what yeah.
Emily Bogan says the promise was enticing. Treatment for her drug use and Lyme disease from a team of professionals in an idyllic setting. The reality, though?
The clients there called it a crack house.
She and her mother had found Nomina Wellness on Vancouver Island. They say based on online photos, they expected a luxury mountain retreat. Instead, she ended up here. She says Nomina co-owner Lisa Calco promised professional treatment. But Bogan says some sessions were run by untrained staff, and she wasn't treated for Lyme disease. She paid more than $33,000 for 3 weeks, but others told the Fifth Estate they paid $60,000 and more.
What did Lisa care about?
Getting people to come to Nomina. Money.
It's appalling. It's shocking.
Some experts say her experience is part of a bigger problem with private residential treatment centers across much of Canada. There are no standards of care, little government oversight, and critics warn it's putting lives at risk.
When you take your vulnerable 19-year-old or 20-year-old to a private residential treatment center, there is no oversight body. There are no standards.
Just Alberta and Quebec regulate private residential treatment centers. BC only regulates those that register with the province. Nomina does not appear on any registries in BC. The Fifth Estate has learned that a 27-year-old man died at Nomina from a fentanyl overdose in October 2024. We found inconsistencies in the staff's response, including questions about whether naloxone, the potentially life-saving opioid overdose reversal drug, was available at the time. The BC Coroner's Office is now reviewing information the Fifth Estate provided.
He was just such a young, beautiful person. I mean, he just had so much potential.
We contacted Lisa Calco at Nomina. She declined an interview, but in an email said their website accurately captures what they offer, including facilities, and says clients voluntarily enroll in their programs, and Nomina is transparent about how things work. Stephen D'Souza, CBC News, Toronto.
And you can catch the Fifth Estate's Dying to Recover tonight at 9 p.m. on CBC TV and GEM, or you can stream it on YouTube. That's available right now. All right, to a marketplace investigation now. For millions, social media has become a go-to source for health information. But Marketplace has found that TikTok is rife with false and sometimes dangerous treatment claims. Asha Tomlinson now on the bad advice and the potentially harmful consequences.
These students say they scroll Dr. TikTok for medical advice often.
I do listen to what they have to say.
But we searched 2 popular health topics, autism and cancer, then analyzed 200 TikTok videos featuring a cure or treatment for them. We found 80%, that's totaling 75 million views, were not backed by solid science. Some were outright dangerous, according to our experts. Like this video posted by a chiropractor promoting chelation therapy for autism. It's an IV treatment that removes heavy metals from the body.
I've had patients in the past before they got to me who had severe speech delay that made great strides.
This autism researcher and pediatrician warns against it.
Heavy metals are not a contributor to autism. There is a risk of death that comes with these treatments.
And there's this video of actor Mel Gibson on Joe Rogan's podcast.
I have 3 friends. All 3 of them had stage 4 cancer. All 3 of them don't have cancer right now at all. And they had some serious stuff going on.
And what did they take? Ivermectin? Fembendazole?
Ivermectin is an anti-parasitic drug. Fembendazole, a dog dewormer. Oncologist Dr. Abha Gupta's take?
It's complete garbage. If we truly thought that any of these agents had any merit, we would be doing clinical trials in them. But there is no merit.
We contacted Mel Gibson for comment. He gave us a polite pass and no response from the chiropractor pushing chelation therapy. TikTok says it takes action when content violates its guidelines, and it warns users not to rely on the platform for medical advice. Most of the videos we flagged have now been taken down. And after seeing what we found, these students say they'll now think twice before trusting Dr. TikTok.
For those life-threatening, more serious stuff, always go to a doctor. Don't trust social media.
Asha Tomlinson, CBC News, Toronto.
And as we head to break, here's a look at where the markets closed today. The TSX rose 166 points, the Dow climbed 472 points, and the dollar traded down to 71.36 cents US. We'll be right back.
This market update is brought to you by Desjardins Business. Contact us today. We'd love to talk business. Update is brought to you by Groundworks, your local expert for basement waterproofing, foundation, and crawl space repair. Book your free inspection at groundworks.ca.
Welcome back, and it seems everyone is getting in on the Jays frenzy, including the TDSB. Students and staff celebrating Game 1 of the World Series today, declaring a school board-wide Spirit Day with a very special guest.
1, 2, 3, 4.
So cute. The Arkells there singing OK Blue Jays by Zeus with the kids. Many showing their support for the Jays by donning team gear and holding up posters that they've made and just getting into the spirit, right?
So much fun.
Oh,
I love it.
I love it. You have your sweater on.
Yes.
I'm putting on.
Here she goes, folks.
Here we go. Okay, we're good. We are both in the Jays spirit now.
Just let me
Okay,
help
fix
you
it,
adjust
fix
it down just a tiny bit so it gets, okay.
Thank you, Colette.
Perfect.
Thank you. Thank
I love
you.
it. And we have a special treat tonight because our dog walking forecast, who knew we were going to be featuring an outfielder for the Jays in the forecast? Yes. A 4-year-old cockapoo likes playing outfield, apparently, for the Jays, according to her very proud Nana named Rita, who sent this in. So this is Phoebe, and this comes to us from tiny beaches in cottage country, this photo. And thank you so much for sending it. What? Looks. I hope the players play as well as Phoebe seems to be doing right there, catching the balls. Okay, so here's what we're looking at tomorrow. A cool start. Our overnight low is going to be 3, so by 8 a.m. we should be about 4 degrees. But our current temperature is still holding on to some double digits in southwestern Ontario, but there is a frost advisory there for Windsor, Essex, and Chatham-Kent, and through that region. I know, can you believe it? Still a few isolated showers out there. With that rotation around that area of low pressure that's actually centered over in Quebec. But a closer look, yes, there may be a few showers that are coming down as we get closer to that first pitch at 8 o'clock. But they'll be light in nature and then moving right on through. And then as we head through the overnight hours tonight, partly cloudy conditions. Tomorrow, we should be doing pretty well. And although there'll be clouds at times, we'll also have some breakthrough sunshine and then later in the day get into more clearer skies. But unfortunately, the sun sets tomorrow. It's at 6:17, so a little earlier. Tomorrow, by the time we get to that first pitch, temperature is probably going to be right around 7 degrees at that time. I do just want to point out a quick look at Tropical Storm Melissa, watching this so carefully, especially for those of you who have friends, family, interests in Jamaica, because over the weekend, by the end of the weekend, we're talking about this being potentially a Category 4 major hurricane, so I did want to just get that in there. All right, Game 1 tonight. Game 2 tomorrow, and then on Sunday, it's a beautiful day, 10 degrees.
All right, and you're headed to the game, right?
I
think a lot of us are jealous, but happy for you. Happy for you.
I'll enjoy it for all. But everyone's going to be watching.
We're
right?
all going to be watching, and go Jays.
Go Jays,
go.
go.
That's all we have tonight. Thanks for watching. We'll catch you at 11. Nice. You got the shot in.